Hey guys.
That was so sleepy.
Let me try that again.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. Welcome to Quarter Twins.
I can't with your face, man. It's just like you swiveled and dead eyes.
Hey guys. What's going on, gamers? Welcome to the Quarter Twins podcast. My name is Joshua, and with me today, as always, is my co-host in cousin, Jordan. Jordan, say hi to the people at home.
Good day.
Welcome to the Quarter Twins podcast. What's up, mate?
I'm really good at this accent.
Wallaby.
I'm really good at this accent.
You're really good at the ad. It's an early one. I know.
Yeah, we gotta.
Sometimes it just has to be.
Yeah, get it out of the way so that.
Yeah.
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 We're touching.
Bro, do we both do that?
Yeah, did it at the same time.
That was weird.
I had an eye booger. It's right there.
Dude, I sometimes just do this when I laugh. Just gotta rub this eye out.
It's a subconscious thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Serious. This is serious, guys. This is serious.
We're here. I am serious. I have a serious grievance. An actual issue. Okay.
Yeah. With me?
No. I hate you, Jordan. No.
It's a company meeting. HR.
You suck.
I have
at
a
Overwatch.
grievance. Well, that is for sure.
No.
That's not even a complaint. Just the truth.
I do have a serious problem. I have a problem with Andor.
Oh no, guys. Here he goes.
Okay.
The best show on TV, he says.
Andor is really, really good. And no one's watching it.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that if it doesn't get a second season because it's not making a bunch of money, we're going to look back on it and be like, yeah, that was whatever. So here it is, right? We have the opening arc. It's fun. We have Aldani. It's fun. Whatever. Little bottle arcs. Okay. The prison arc, masterpiece. Great. Andy Serkis, 10 out of 10. Amazing. Beautiful. 10 out of 10. Now we have 2 episodes left. And the penultimate... we have 1 episode left. And the episode we just had was nothing.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of setting up a final battle, maybe?
Yeah.
And we have 1 episode left and it's over.
Yep.
I feel like if I'm watching this and I knew... Like, if I'm 10 years in the future, and this is a 6-season TV show, this is the best first season ever.
Yes.
Amazing. But if this is all we get, 5 out of 10.
I'm right there with you.
And
I mean, it's still a 10 out of 10 show. However, what you're saying stands, where in 10 years, we're not going to be like, go watch Andor, because it's 1 season. Because we obviously haven't seen the last episode yet. But,
sure.
Like you said, like, it's a good episode, but there's 1 more left. And it's like, where is this going? We know where it's going. We know it's going to Rogue One eventually, the Rebellion and Star Wars A New Hope eventually. But this season as it stands, like, it's building to something, but it's like, what is it? Because the climax, we don't know what the climax is. Maybe it'll blow us away. I don't know.
Who knows?
But they're setting up this, like...
Krieger
Krieger ambush thing. And I thought that was just set up as, like, it was going to be, like, you don't even see it. It didn't even seem like that's what we were leading up to. But now it seems like it's what we're leading up to. And this brings up I have two grievances with the show.
Okay.
So far I have 2 grievances with the show as a whole. One being, there are too many human characters and not enough alien characters.
Sure.
That's
a classic Star Wars problem.
A very minor pet peeve, where it's just like everybody in the prison is a humanoid person, human body.
Everyone is a human. Yeah.
which is maybe there's a reason for that, but like it doesn't feel as Star Wars as it would if there were like alien dudes walking around.
Mm-hmm.
Alien to us. My second grievance is that it's a show called Andor.
Oh,
I think it's a bad name. Not that I think Andor shouldn't be the main character, but I think this show, he's not really the main character. There are a lot of things happening at the same time, and he shares his screen time with Mon Mothma and Stellan Skarsgård's character Luthen, and all these other guys. Like he's the lead character, especially in the first arc. But after that, you get all these other characters and all these other things happening. I saw somebody on Twitter said it should be called like Shadows of the Empire or something like that, something in that vein.
Yeah.
That covers more than just, because like you're saying, the show's going to end and it's called Andor, and nobody's watching it because it's called Andor, because they think it's about the guy from Rogue One and they don't care about that. But if it was called something else, that would be more interesting to people or enticing. People would be more likely to watch it. Yeah. Even though Andor is a character in the show. You know what I mean?
I do. I literally do. If it was called something cool like Shadows of the Empire, then I feel like more people would be interested, just because it doesn't sound like, oh, this could be a darker, gritty show, right? Yeah. It's not like Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
It's literally like Shadow. That's darker. Maybe this can be something gritty. And this is. It's finally something that I've enjoyed that's like more mature Star Wars, which is something I've wanted for a long time. I think even Mandalorian. Okay. I don't really like Star Wars Mandalorian, guys. This is the breaking news.
Guys.
Breaking news.
All the points you're about to make, I probably will agree with, but I
Mandalorian
like it.
Is a story as old as time. A character who likes being alone, forced into a parent-child relationship until they get along with each other. If you want that story in a better format, you're going to want to watch The Last of Us coming out soon on HBO or Hulu or something. Or play the video game itself that it's based on, because that version of the story, or watch Up. That's a better version too.
Or Logan.
Oh, yeah.
Right, guys?
That's a really good movie.
Or Obi-Wan Kenobi. A great show.
It's not. I wouldn't say that.
Similar
it's better.
Premise.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly.
No, it's definitely that was a joke. I hate it. I hate that show with a burning passion.
I'm just saying, I've split off here, but I just think
it's a story as old as time, and you see it lots of places.
And so that's annoying for me.
Yeah.
But people are so hype about it because it's The Mandalorian. He's a cool, gritty character in the darker side of the Star Wars universe, and everybody loves Mandalorian armor. It's cool, right?
Yep.
I get that. This is the way. Like, it's the whole thing, right? And Baby Yoda is cute or whatever, right? And it became a phenomenon.
A phenomenon.
And here we have a better show in every way.
Yep.
Every way.
That's 100% true.
And it's called Andor.
Yep.
Named after a character from a movie not everybody watched. In that movie, he dies.
Yep.
Like it.
It's a bad choice.
Who's going to watch this show? I can already tell you, I don't know how many times I'm going to rewatch this show. Because, especially if it's only one season, because I know he's just going to die in the movie. And he's less developed in the movie than he is now in the past in the show. Yeah,
this show, like, it's not like it inspires you to watch Rogue One, because it's like, he's hardly in that, and he has nothing to do with it.
He's a much worse character in that movie.
Yes, yeah. I don't know, man. When I watched episode 11, I felt the same way I felt with every Disney show. I was like, okay, they're doing it again. They're doing it again. They don't know how to wrap these things up. I still have faith in these guys because they've created the best show on television so far. But like, I don't know. And
again, though, if we get a second season, or there was originally a plan for 5 seasons or something.
Mhm.
Like if they tell me that this is going somewhere, I'm back in 10 out of 10, 100%. But right now, as it
I
stands,
can't figure out if season 2 is confirmed or not because the writers and everybody are talking about a season 2,
yeah,
but I don't know if it's
I hope it
actually
comes.
happening yet. So
because this is the best Star Wars I've seen since The Last Jedi.
very good. But yeah, I think that when it all comes down, I think their biggest mistake is calling it Andor for sure. I think that's going to bite them
I would agree.
more than anything else.
Also,
That, which is unfortunate.
I think Stellan Skarsgård is the best character in the show.
I agree.
I think
I agree.
Axis is so cool, dude.
Yeah.
This
he gets a
random
freaking
guy.
awesome spaceship fight in this episode.
Yeah.
He just freaking wrecks these guys.
I don't know. I just think he's such a cool character, and like this guy who knows exactly who he is, and he's like, this is what I have to do.
Mhm.
Like, I know I'm not going to even get to enjoy the spoils of war, but I'm fighting the good fight, you know? And
Yeah.
I think he's just such an interesting character, and I want to know more about him. And if there's only one episode left and then we get nothing, I'm going to be sad, and then I'm going to forget him, and I won't care.
Yeah.
Which is why
I don't
we need
know. I don't
Ryan
think-
Johnson, writer of the greatest
Yeah,
Last
there you go.
Jedi movie.
The greatest
We
Last
need him.
Jedi
He
ever.
needs to come in with his own trilogy and show us how Star Wars is really done.
Amen to that.
Okay?
Amen to that.
Golly.
Go see Glass Onion when it comes out, guys.
Seriously.
Go see it in theaters. Okay, guys. Glass Onion, well, by the time you're listening to this, Glass Onion is out in theaters for a limited time, for like a week or 2 weeks or 3
way.
weeks or something. For a couple of weeks. By the time you're listening to this, it's out already, okay? Stop listening to this right now. Stop listening to it.
Buy tickets.
Go buy tickets right now and go see it in theaters so that Netflix will see that we pay to see things in theaters, so they start putting things in theaters again. Okay? We don't need this, put it on streaming services and stuff. You can put it on streaming services, I don't care. As long as it's in theaters also for us to enjoy. I probably won't even be able to see it in theaters because I got things. I got work and it's Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving. It's a terrible week to have a 1 week release.
Just go see things in theaters, guys. Please. Okay, come back to the episode.
Come back now.
You're back here. You're back now. Yeah. You don't even have to stop listening to go get tickets because it's in Spotify.
That's
You can
true.
just, whoop, go do it while you're listening because this is a podcast.
Whoa.
And
You're telling me.
And if you have YouTube, I think
Episode
everybody
30?
now
By the way?
in YouTube, you can do the mini player and you can leave the app and it still plays in the background.
Oh.
Anyway, this is a good
Nice.
tangent, I think. What did you guys? What'd you do? Any movies? Did you see any movies this past week, Joshua? Transition.
You guys see Black Panther? Black
I've seen it.
Panther Wakanda Forever?
I've seen it. Yeah, I saw it.
Pretty good. All right,
is
guys.
pretty
See you
good.
next week.
See you next week.
Just kidding.
Man, Wakanda Forever came out, and it's pretty good, guys.
I wanted
Go
to
ahead.
see it a second time before we got here. But it's been a couple days since I watched it, so we'll see how precise I am with my commentary of this movie.
Do you want me to give you the plot synopsis?
Hit me
as
with
I
a
often
synopsis. Yeah,
Well-
you're the synopsis guy.
For those who don't know, Black Panther, a movie that came out earlier
2018.
28 years ago.
28 years ago?
2018 is when it came out. We like Black Panther, I think. It's not our favorite MCU movie, but it's got a really strong villain and it's got a good script.
Black
CGI
Panther
is not
villain
very good.
slap.
Andy Serkis says Claw's really good in that
Mhm.
movie. Black Panther was played by Chadwick Boseman.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman passed away of colon cancer in 2020
Mm-hmm.
and 2020.
Just a great year.
A great
2020.
year,
What
a
a
very
fantastic year.
great year. We lost Chadwick Boseman that year, as well as the global pandemic and all that stuff. So the movie was obviously pushed back a bit because they
Mhm.
lost their lead actor, or Black Panther Wakanda Forever was pushed back because they lost the lead actor. I believe Ryan Coogler had a finished script while Boseman was still alive, and I don't know if he got a chance to read it or not before he passed, but he obviously passed, and they had to rework some things, and the pandemic was happening, and vaccines were happening, and Letitia Wright, the main character in this movie, was like, I don't know if I want to get this vaccine, and a lot of people were like, well, you should probably die, and you can't play Black Panther anymore because you're a terrible person, and we hate you, and we think you should not be in these movies anymore. And so she left social media for a long time. But the movie kept being in development and whatever. And they obviously didn't fire her from the movie, which I'm very grateful for, regardless of your stance on vaccines or whatever. I think it's, especially for this movie, like it, there's a lot to it. It carries a lot of weight. It does, it's doing a lot of things. It's a tribute to Chadwick Boseman as a person, and they chose to write it in a way where they're not recasting Black Panther in this movie, or T'Challa rather. They're not recasting T'Challa. This movie acts as a tribute to T'Challa as a character as well, and the story of these characters grieving the character of T'Challa while also acting as, we are watching these actors, grieve their friend Chadwick Boseman in real time with us. It's a very real thing that's happening. And my point with that was just like, I'm glad that Letitia Wright was able to, play this role as well as she did, and that she didn't quit altogether because of any backlash that she may have gotten. Because I think it was a very powerful thing to watch her play this character, the sister of T'Challa. And so in the movie, the sister of T'Challa, her name is Shuri, and T'Challa has died, and she's dealing with that, trying to be spoiler free, so I don't spoil anything for you if you haven't seen it yet. T'Challa has died. Shuri's mother, Ramonda, is queen of Wakanda now, and M'Baku's there, and there's a fish man, and people want the vibranium, and it's very sad, and war is happening, and stuff, and it's very intense. And there's a new character in a suit that looks like an Iron Man suit, which you've seen in the trailers. Yeah, and a lot of things happen that I don't really want to spoil, but
there you go. Perfect synopsis.
Yeah, it's really good.
M'Baku is there. There's a fish man. That's all you need to know.
There's a fish man. His name is Namor or Namor.
Namor. Like Amor, but no.
Yes. No, but yes. Yeah, and I think it's worth saying that it does. It is a very direct sequel to Black Panther, even though lots of MCU movies have happened since then.
True.
Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame and everything in between. But it does carry a lot of the plot threads. People are still dealing with the effects of, some of the people in Wakanda sided with Killmonger when he tried to take over the world and this sort of thing. And then people are still kind of on edge about that. And there's still like some resentment surrounding that. So yeah, I think I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a great movie, a great time. Entertaining while also being a very emotional experience. It's not like a normal thing to like grieve a person, a real person in a movie where their character also died. And I really appreciated that, where it's like, I obviously didn't know Chadwick Boseman, but
sure.
And I obviously wasn't invited to his real life funeral, but I did know the character of T'Challa, and like I followed his story with everybody else, and I am just thankful for the opportunity to grieve with these characters, this very real person, but also character that we've watched in a few movies, and who, is gone way too soon, way too young. And yeah, it was just a really like good experience, I think, for me. On top of all of that, it's a really cool movie with lots of cool stuff.
It's not.
But
It's also a cool movie.
yeah, there's explosions and
Nice.
things, and a fish man who has wings on his ankles, and I
Yes.
think it is just awesome that it could be. This is what we want from superhero movies. We don't want all Thor: Love and Thunders all the time. We want
Don't we?
real movies.
Don't we just
With
love
real
Thor: Love and Thunder? guys?
filmmaking? Yeah,
Come on.
it could be serious. It takes it. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever takes itself serious.
Well, you know
It's-
Jordan likes that.
There are
When
no
superhero movies take
no
themselves seriously.
jokes. No, there are jokes, and they're very well written and they're very well placed, and I appreciate that. Instead of all jokes all the time. My name is Taika Waititi, and I think I'm the most hilarious person in the entire freaking world. Every
was
word
in
out of my mouth is
2017,
hilarious.
He was.
Yeah, that's true. He was pretty funny, but yeah, I genuinely loved this movie. There are a few things that I would do differently, which we'll talk about in spoilers, but I give it a glowing recommendation. You should definitely
hit
see
me with
it
an out of 10.
in theaters. Out of 10? Let's see. I'm giving it a...
Marcus gave it an 8.
that's true. I'm also giving it an 8 for reasons we'll get into. An 8 out of 10 is what I'm giving it.
Beautiful.
What are your overall
Beautiful.
thoughts?
Me,
I don't know.
overall.
I go into these rambles and I
Mhm.
lose track of anything I've ever said.
Oh,
So,
Oh,
I
no.
hope what I just said made sense. But what do you think?
dude,
about
I heard it,
man?
and I
I'm
thought
glad.
it was great.
Good stuff.
I really like the movie too. I think I'm not gonna say I connect with villains, but I really
sure.
enjoy when a villain is good. Like,
Yeah.
and so many times we have these
Complex.
like one-off villains in Marvel movies that just die right away,
Yes.
and
Which he might.
which he may or may
Spoiler-free
not die in this movie. Regardless of his fate at the end of the
Yes.
film, I think he, as you said, is complex, and
Mhm.
he isn't going through the same thing that Shuri is going throughout
Mhm.
this movie, but they get put in similar situations, I think, and
Yeah.
they have to reconcile important choices.
Yes.
And that's where you get a hero versus a villain. And I think that's cool
Mm-hmm.
and done well. So
Yes.
I really, really enjoy Namor.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone in this movie is acting very, very well.
Yes.
Save the like 2 white people in this movie.
Yeah.
I think it's freaking sweet that this movie can be led by black people, black women,
Yes.
and Mexican man. I think
It's all the better
Tenoch
for it.
Huerta is Mexican.
I believe so. Hispanic, heritage.
Latino. Yeah. And I think I just think it's really awesome that they can lead this movie, a big budget Disney Marvel
Mhm.
movie, and the 2 white people in this movie are the worst characters in the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
I just think that's sweet. Okay? And it's a great step forward for the world.
Which almost makes you think they should probably not have had those 2 white people in it. But we
Been cool.
we could get into
If
it.
the only white people in the movie were the French and American ambassadors
Yeah.
that get dunked on,
Yes.
and then all the pirates that die, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
So-
Man. We're obviously white, so
Well, what can you do?
it is what it is.
But
what can you
know,
do?
that doesn't mean I don't
We-
see.
Support other
this-
cultures.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
This movie is important for more than one reason, and I appreciate it for all of its reasons.
Yes, of course.
So,
So I think
therefore-
it's obvious. Is it art or is it fart?
Yo, whatever happened to the art or fart music?
It's
I
in
didn't-
there. I put it in last
Oh,
time.
you do? Wow.
Yep.
I don't watch our own podcast, so.
We don't do this segment as often as we did at the beginning because we
That's
don't
true.
review new movies as often.
Mhm.
Because
they don't
it's
get
the slow
watched.
season. It's the slow
Yeah.
season. It's an art. It's an artful movie.
It's an art.
100%.
It's amazing. This movie
Yeah.
looks so much better than other. Oh, I had a whole other thing I was going to talk about.
Yeah, in the spoiler-free
Um,
section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ant-Man back in I don't know, 2020 when school was out and I was home with my parents. We rewatched all of the Marvel movies at the time. And I took it upon myself to do like an Oscars, but only Marvel movies. And so I had like ratings for everything out of 100. And then when I added up all the scores, Black Panther was my number one. I don't know how that happened. Yeah. But my power scaling was all sorts of off because personally, Black Panther is not my favorite Marvel movie. Regardless. Best cinematography at the time was Ant-Man. I really, really, really love how they do the stuff with the macro lens. I think all of that stuff is really, really cool.
I'm not even gonna try to fight you on that, even though I think it's a ridiculous statement. But
okay. Well, regardless, it's no longer my favorite movie cinematically. I would say that this new Black Panther is now my favorite looking Marvel movie. And I say that specifically, taking out special effects. Okay, so you're thinking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 because all the colors and that one shot with Gamora sitting in the sunset.
It's more than just colors, man.
Okay.
There's lots of good stuff in there. Okay.
But that's all CGI. It's not real. The macro lens stuff in Ant-Man is literally real.
Yeah. Okay.
That's crazy cool. All right? Using actual tools to make real movie stuff is cool. Visual effects is a whole separate issue. And I gave Guardians of the Galaxy number 2. It was the best visual effects on the list, all right? So calm down with it, all right? Yeah. Anyway, Black Panther's
what were you
done.
saying?
Its time is done, and I think even just in the trailer, I was blown away by a lot of the shots. Also, the trailer to this movie was maybe one of the best trailers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Also, we're at like Alien Phantom Menace level quality trailer.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to just crap on Thor: Love and Thunder all the time.
Oh man.
Okay. But the idea that Thor: Love and Thunder and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever came out in the same year, within a few months of each other, with the same studio. Look at those two movies back to back and tell me you don't see a monumental difference in visual stuff alone. It's mind-blowing how bad that movie looks in comparison to this movie. Let me just tell you. Listen, Thor: Love and Thunder is not all bad. But
I think you're only thinking of that one projection with the kid.
There's a lot of really bad stuff. I actually forgot about that until you just
Gore the
told
God
me
Butcher looks cool in every scene he's in. His Shadow Warriors are dope.
I don't even
Black
agree.
and White World.
I don't even agree that he looks.
I don't care
like him
that you agree or disagree.
We disagree.
I think he's a super dope character.
He's not, but it's fine. We don't have to agree on that.
He gave Thor a daughter. His own.
Terrible. It's so bad.
What a great man.
Terrible ending. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Wakanda Forever though. It's really good and it looks great.
Wow.
And we think that's good. And all art is good art, as we said, as I've said. But maybe Thor: Love and Thunder isn't art. Okay, maybe it's a fart. Oh, I also wanted to just what movie did we talk about? Black Adam.
For All Mankind.
Black Adam. We talked about Black Adam, and I was all, it's an art, and then I listened back to that episode, and I was like, it's not an art.
Did I call it a fart?
You called it a fart. You didn't like it. Why did I call it? Guys, it's
Dude,
not.
You were so hyped for that movie.
I couldn't figure out if I was just like, if I went into that episode being like, I know he doesn't like this, so I'm gonna take like a positive position or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I did that consciously, but I was like, guys, like
this
everything
amazing.
Everything I said about the movie, I still would say, but I wouldn't give it an art. I would still give it a fart. I would say that it's like, it's like a fart that you're like, I'm purposely farting for comedy. Is what I'm saying. I'm
no one else thought it was funny.
But nobody else thought it was funny. I'm farting on purpose for comedy, but nobody else thought it was funny. That's my official thoughts on Black Adam.
Like when you fart during a test.
Yes.
And the teacher's like, "How did that?"
It was me. Anyway, spoilers for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I think.
Okay.
It's an art. There are some
It's an art.
negatives
Spoilers
to this
though.
movie.
It's an art.
There's some negatives to this movie for sure.
Are there?
Yes, I would say.
I have
Do
one.
you want to go first? You go
Yeah,
ahead.
so I'm going to take the position briefly
Okay.
of the internet and
Yes.
all of the angry trolls.
The Last Jedi sucks.
Yeah, those people. But not specifically Noah, but
Yeah.
everyone else.
Who share the same opinions as Noah. So
Yeah. So this movie. Oh, well, okay. Let's go back to 2016.
let's go back to 2016. I'm there
Civil
with you.
War comes out.
Junior year. of
Also,
high school.
side note: 2016 is probably one of the greatest years ever. What a banger year! Except for that one thing that happened. Great year.
Which may be one of the worst things that's ever happened to anybody ever.
Also true. High highs, low lows.
Very low lows.
Anyway.
Yeah.
In 2016, we had Captain America: Civil War. Mid movie.
I was there. Mid. Yeah.
Black Panther, the highlight of the film, probably, has an amazing arc with revenge. It's very
Mhm.
important to see his character. He's kind of learning the lesson that the actual characters in the movie should be learning, and they learn it eventually. But like,
Vengeance
T'Challa's-
has consumed them. I'm done letting it consume me. Blah blah blah.
there it is, and it's a great character arc for him.
It is.
It's really great for a side character to get a powerful arc and to literally explain it to the audience.
Yes.
And then we have his own movie, Black Panther,
Mm-hmm.
mid movie. I think it's higher than Civil War for me. I actually don't
Sure.
recall.
I don't remember.
Regardless, T'Challa doesn't really have a great character arc in that movie. He's facing the responsibility of becoming king and how to reconcile that with being the warrior leader, as well as there's a lot of family motifs in the whole Black Panther world.
His dad lied to him and about the past, and he has a cousin.
Mm-hmm. So do I. Look at this guy.
Same. Yeah.
But the general consensus is that like it wasn't that great of a character arc for him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So then Black Panther: Wakanda Forever comes out, and Shuri, she's lost her father.
Mm-hmm.
She loses her brother at the beginning of the movie, and halfway through the movie she
Yeah.
also loses her mother.
Mm-hmm.
She becomes queen. She is hell-bent on revenge.
Yep.
And she achieves everything that would be achieved in revenge up to the moment where she can vanquish her foe and kill Namor. And then she doesn't do it because revenge is bad and she's better than the villains or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I thought immediately, even further, I don't know if it's her or someone else in that scene is like, vengeance is consuming you or something. Like it literally, like they say the same thing.
Something like that. I thought the same thing, yeah.
And I was like, oh, people are going to immediately point at this and be like, this is lazy writing. We already saw this character arc. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is the same as the Civil War arc. And so it's not even a grievance that I have because she's a different person.
Yep.
And she's learning a different version of this very similar lesson.
Yeah, and it has, I'll talk about it more when I talk about the good stuff. It has
Mm-hmm.
implications for her that were different than T'Challa, which anyway.
Yeah.
I'll get to that.
And so I just think that anything that those internet trolls can cling on to, and they're the ones yelling the loudest, kind of create the opinions of the internet.
Yep.
And that's why I hate Revenge of the Sith so much, is because I let those people... Well, that and the nightmares when I was 6 years old.
It traumatized you.
Yeah. But yeah, so my grievance isn't that it had a similar character arc from Civil War, but that some people will have that grievance, and they're going to be the ones that are annoyed at this movie.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. And then my dad,
James.
me, my dad, and my mom watched this movie together, and in theaters on release day because we were there. You know, we're hype. We're with it.
Yeah. You saw a movie before me this time. Crazy.
Yeah, for once.
Never happens.
On the drive home, we like to review the movie, more or less. And my dad says, his one thing he says the entire time, not enough M'Baku for my dad.
Yeah.
He's a laugher. You know that.
Yeah.
And he's a big fan of the humor. Anything that could be funny, he thinks is funny, and I love that. And so one of the funniest things for us, and maybe everyone, because it happened again in the second movie, is when M'Baku is challenging for the throne, and he says, "Glory to Hanuman," which is the monkey god of the Jabari tribe.
Says that. Like he said that.
And he said it in the second movie, and my dad out loud is like, ha, 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 ha. And everyone in the theater started giggling, and I was like, yeah, glory to Hanuman. Like, that's it was awesome. So funny. And I was like, yeah.
Because it's not even a joke. Like, that's just his culture. Like, he's saying glory to God in his culture. So it's funny that he would laugh that hard about it.
I don't know. He just thinks
it's just
funny.
The way he says it is funny.
Yeah.
So, especially in the first one. Glory to Hanuman. Because we don't know who that is at first. It is funny.
And so he said not enough M'Baku, which I can agree with. He's a great character. I think he could be like Wong.
Yeah.
You know, and have like cameos or even a full Disney Plus show about him just being funny vegetarian. And my dad also made the comment about the carrot that he was eating in that meeting. And he was like, I just thought it was so funny when he was eating the carrot. And I was like, you are the target audience. I love it.
For the carrot. Yeah.
He's just like, I thought that was so funny.
There's something at the end that happens. Oh, it's Shuri has become queen, and she has. Let me just spoiler-filled plot synopsis. Okay.
Here we go.
T'Challa died.
No way.
Shuri. In real life, Chadwick Boseman was suffering from colon cancer for many years, and he didn't tell. Well, he told his family, I'm sure, but he didn't tell like his fellow actors or the world. It was very private. He was very private about his personal life in general. So in the movie, they kind of imply that T'Challa was suffering from a disease, and he kept it to himself for long enough where it was too late for Shuri to help him. But Shuri was trying to save him by recreating the heart-shaped herb, which is the herb that gives you the Black Panther powers, which, if you remember, Killmonger lit the whole crop on fire in the first movie.
So how crazy is it that they only had one
I'm the
place
Black Panther, and nobody else can be Black Panther. So there's no more heart-shaped herb. But Shuri's trying to recreate it to save T'Challa. It doesn't work in time. T'Challa dies. She kind of gives up on that because grief and whatever. Ramonda is queen. They're grieving T'Challa, funeral service, and then the queen and Shuri are hanging out on the beach, and Fishman flutters out of the ocean with his winged feet, and he's like, the white people are after my vibranium, and you're going to stop them, or I'm going to kill you. And they're like, what? And
what? Ah, man.
What? So what's happened is there's this girl at college. I don't remember which college it is. Her name is...
Or no, MIT.
MIT. Her name is Riri Williams. Riri is hard to say. I'm going to try to say it. Riri. It's like rural.
It is a tough
Riri
word.
Williams is out there. She's super smart, and the CIA has commissioned her to build a device that can detect vibranium through any sort of things that are trying to hide it from the world or whatever. So she builds this machine. They're finding vibranium. They find some deep within the ocean, which just so happens to be the Atlantic Ocean, which is Atlantis. It's not Atlantis. It's somewhere else. Because DC
it's closer to like the Gulf of Mexico, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
More or less.
The civilization, they can't call it Atlantis because DC did Aquaman, and that's called Atlantis, so it has to be something different. And so the outside world is closing in on this Atlantis-like place, which is called Talokan. And the leader, the king of Talokan, his name is Namor. He's a mutant fish man who has winged feet.
The flying serpent god.
He lives for a long, long, long time. Yeah. And so he doesn't want them to find him because, as you find out later, this is going to take a long time to get through the plot of this movie.
Do it!
I'm having fun, though. He doesn't want the outside world to find him because, as a child in the early something century, help me out here, history man? 15th century?
Maybe. 14th century? 1492. So, yeah. 15th century.
The
16th.
Conquistadors?
That's the
one.
Would you say? Those are the ones.
Conquistadors?
100%.
I think that's right.
Yes.
They found this village of indigenous people where baby
Mayans, I believe.
Mayans, yes, thank you. Where the mom who's pregnant with Namor is living, and the conquistadors take over their land or something, right? Or they do that later, or they drive them out of their land.
And they bring the sickness. Is the big thing. The
sickness, yes, the plague or something.
The sickness.
And so the indigenous people, the leader of that tribe finds this thing very similar to the heart-shaped herb in the water, and they take it, and it heals their disease, but it turns them into fish people, into Atlanteans. And so they have to go into the water. The whole civilization turns into these kind of evolved fish-human people that live for a really long time. And they go build a civilization underwater. And Namor is the baby who's in his mother's womb. Since his mother takes the herb, it causes a mutation in the womb, and Namor turns into this mutant, godlike character. And he's born in the water with winged feet. But then Namor, when he's a little bit older, his mom dies, and he wants to bury his mom in her ancestral home.
He doesn't actually. She wanted to be buried there. She wanted that.
So he's taking her back up to the surface to be buried with her ancestors. And what does he find? He finds that the conquistadors have enslaved everybody who was left on the surface, and they have what's the word? Colonized the entire place for their own good, and then enslaved his countrymen. And so he rises up out of the ocean with his winged feet, and he kills them all. And so he's seen the horrors of colonization and what are the words, terms, that sort of thing. And he doesn't want that to happen to Talokan because he knows if the outside world finds him and his super advanced civilization of fish people, they're going to take the resources for their own and kill a bunch of his people and enslave them and whatever.
Or just Avatar, be afraid that there's a power stronger than them.
Yeah.
And try to fight it. Specifically America.
I'm so sorry. Is this good content? Are we enjoying this?
Do you see this on my eyeball?
Yeah, what's happening there?
I got a laser beam.
My goodness. Is this good? Is this boring?
I'm literally so enthralled. Keep going.
So this is his motivation, Namor. He doesn't want the outside world to find him. So he goes to the Wakandans because the Wakandans are already out there in the outside world. The outside world knows about them. So Namor goes to the Queen of Wakanda. He's like, you're going to stop the Americans and everybody from finding vibranium by any means necessary, or I'm going to... you're going to stop them by kidnapping this girl at MIT who has created this machine, and you're going to find her and you're going to kill her so that she can't make another machine, so that they stop looking for me. And the Wakandans are like, what? No way.
What?
We don't like killing people for no reason. So he's like, if you tell anybody about me, I will also kill you. So do what I tell you and don't tell anybody about me, or I'm going to kill you anyway. But then they find this girl at MIT, Riri Williams, and she has an Iron Man suit. They find her by getting in contact with the white man, Martin Freeman from The Hobbit. They got Everett Ross or whatever his name is, and they're like, help us, CIA man. It's like, okay. And my wife is here too, and she's important, and she's also white, and she's from Seinfeld.
I thought
and
she
they're
was
the
from
two.
Will and Grace.
Maybe she is.
Julie Louis Dreyfus or
Yeah.
whatever. My mom says she's not a great actor.
Oh, jeez, shots fired.
It's a powerful remark that I will never forget.
They're the two white people that we don't think should be in this movie because they spend a lot of time doing stuff in the movie that shouldn't be done, really. It's like, whatever.
It's annoying and pointless.
So they get Shuri and Okoye go to Wakanda. I mean, they go to America or wherever MIT is.
It's in
It's in America
Maryland.
somewhere. Maryland.
I think.
And they get Riri Williams. But then the Talocanians, the blue people, they're blue
There you go.
when they're outside of the water. They find them and they're like, okay, you found the girl, let us kill her now. And Okoye is like, nope, I'm going to stop you from doing that. They beat Okoye. They take Shuri and
She
Riri
did
back
not
to
stop them.
Talokan as prisoners. Okoye goes back to gosh, lots of words. Okoye goes back to Wakanda, and the queen is like, "You lost my daughter. You're fired." And so she's
You're
off the Dora
fired.
Milaje. She's off that thing, that team. And Shuri's taken to Talokan by Namor, and Namor's like, "Let me show you around, girl." And he's like, "Look at this place. It's beautiful, right? You don't want to see this go away, so just kill Riri for me, and this can all be done." And Shuri's like, "Nope." But then Lupita Nyong'o shows up, and she's like, "I've been here the whole time, and I'm awesome." And she's like, "The queen
I speak
goes
every
to her,
language.
I speak every language. I'm so smart." The queen goes to Nakia because Nakia in the first movie was a spy, and they were using her to spy on people and stuff. So the queen is like, "Nakia, I need you to find Talokan and find my daughter and bring her home." So she does that. I'm trying to speed through this. Nakia goes there. She kills one of the blue people and takes Shuri and Riri back to Wakanda. Namor finds out. He finds out that she killed one of his own people, and he is mad. He is so mad. He takes an army to Wakanda and he floods it and he kills a bunch of people, including the queen. Oh my goodness. He kills the queen with a big water bomb.
She drowns. Saving
she drowns.
Riri Williams' life.
Saving Riri Williams' life, yes. So, another funeral scene. Shuri has to bury her mother, just like she did T'Challa. And she is furious with this guy. She swears revenge against Namor. She is like, we can't do this without the Black Panther. We need the Black Panther. So she recreates the heart-shaped herb using a strand from a thing that Namor gave her, which is like, why'd you give her that? Because you're like super secretive about your thing. Yeah. Why'd you give her that?
And it's like a lasting, precious memory of his fallen mother.
Very strange, inconvenient, but you know, it's
would have been cooler if she stole it.
Yes. She recreates the heart-shaped herb. She becomes the Black Panther. She assembles an army. They go to the ocean with a new vibranium finding device thing to lure Namor out, to surprise him, to give him the jump. And Riri Williams develops an Iron Man suit that doesn't look very good. And they have a big battle. Shuri takes Namor into her little jet thing, and she turns it into a microwave to dry him out so that he's weakened. It's like kryptonite or whatever, because he needs the oxygen from the water to be strong. So she dries him out and takes him to a desert, and they punch, and
Stab.
Namor freaking stabs her in the chest with the thing, and she's fine, but she's been stabbed in the chest. and then she is about to beat him and kill him. But then she feels her mother and supposedly brother like kind of steering her away from that, and she learns her lesson, and she doesn't kill Namor. And they're like, let's band together. We can do this together. We can figure this thing out. Like sensible adults, be okay, because
sensible.
They have a moment where there's this kind of like a moment of realization where after everything Namor has told Shuri, she realizes that in her rage, if she kills Namor, like Namor killed her mom, she will become the very thing that she hates. And she has a moment of realization. She doesn't kill him. And because she doesn't kill Namor, Namor realizes that, oh, we can get along and whatever, because this person has no reason not to kill me, like the people who enslaved my previous people would have, but this person I can trust. So they get along. The movie ends. Shuri's like, I don't really want to be queen. This is what I was talking about earlier. you know the ceremony where the Black Panther comes down from the ship in the pond, and they take away the powers, and like, who wants to challenge? Shuri doesn't show up, and Baku shows up, and she's like, she's not here. She doesn't want to be queen. I would like to challenge. And then that's it. We don't really know what happens with that. Shuri goes to see Nakia, and in the post-credit scene, guys, a very good post-credit scene, we find out that Nakia and T'Challa have had a son many years ago. Well, not that many years ago. A few years ago. And her son is named T'Challa, and oh my gosh, tears.
It's adorable.
Adorable. And Black Panther will return, guys. Okay, that's Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Sorry, I took you down that.
Wow. Now you don't need to see the movie.
I had to get it all out. That's the spoiler-filled plot synopsis. There's a lot going on in this movie, I feel like.
True, very true, very true.
I just talked for a really long time. You talk about what you liked about the movie, and then I'll.
Oh my gosh, did I write anything down that I liked about it? No,
you did.
I
said one thing.
Oh yeah, I wrote one word: acting.
Acting.
Yeah, I said it earlier though. So.
Yep.
I just think that the acting is really good. I also praised the cinematography.
Yes. I didn't even talk about my bad stuff, but.
I also praised the villain. I think Namor is really cool, and I can speak more freely now that we've passed the spoiler-free area. He doesn't die.
Yep.
I think that's awesome.
For a second, I was like, they're gonna kill him. Like, why are they gonna kill him? That's a terrible decision to kill him. And they didn't. I was like, okay, good job.
I was like, oh, she's not going to kill him, and he's going to turn around and be like, haha, my moment. And then she's going to have to kill him, kind of a thing.
Yep.
And thank goodness that didn't happen. It sounds like he's got a long con. I really hope he becomes a more integral character.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll see much more of him. It'd be interesting to see like a long-lasting Wakanda versus Talokan war between those two, or even an alliance. I know that Kang is supposed to be the big bad, but I honestly feel like I feel like Namor could fill that role. He's very interesting. He's got a very powerful nation that's hard to attack. He's Kukulkan. He's freaking sick.
The feather.
And he's a mutant, right? Like X-Men mutant.
Yep.
He uses that word mutant, which in the Marvel world is very important.
It is.
So our second teaser into the X-Men potential.
Because
I guess third, because we also had Miss Marvel.
I've started reading comics, and from the very few comics I have read, is the word.
That you've reread?
Rereaded. In the stories that I've read with Namor in them, it's very much like, this conflict is happening on the surface, and like, I know a guy underwater, and we'll go talk to him. And sometimes he's like really pissed off about something, and he's like, I'm not going to help you with this. Blah. Yeah, sometimes he's like, fine, I'll help you with this. Blah. But he's a very different character in the comics, from what I can tell, than the one in this movie.
Well, he's not even like Mayan, is he?
No,
he's just like a guy.
he's a guy. He's got the widow's peak, slick back hair, and he looks kind of funny. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. I hope sincerely that he can be an important character moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going back to bad, I don't
Yeah,
really
go for it.
care about Riri Williams.
Yeah.
I know that this is like her introduction.
Yeah.
And she's not a main character.
She's gonna get a TV
but the
show.
movie's kind of about, like, she's like the crux. Why all these characters are doing the things they're doing.
That's true.
And she's just not great.
No, yeah, and I think I alluded to it earlier. Like, one of my negatives of the film is like the suit that she builds. I don't think it looks very good. I think it looks kind of
It's so
bad.
bulky.
Lots of people have compared it to like a Power Rangers outfit, and I'm like, yeah, okay. That and there are 2 outfits that Okoye and one of the other Dora Milaje wear at the end that are like super suits, and I think those also look really bad. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's funny that they throughout the whole movie they're like, yeah, these are ugly.
Yeah.
And then they don't get cooler.
No, they get worse.
And they use CGI when they're fighting, and it doesn't look good. But then they have real suits. Like, there's a shot later where one of the characters is wearing the suit. So, like, just take the helmet off and wear the suit. It would have been fine.
Yeah, I do appreciate. We should just say the costume design. Jeez, holy cow, some great stuff. Real, like, the Black Panther suit that Shuri wears is like real, and you can see that for the most part. I guess there's some visual stuff that you might not be able to tell is CG,
Angela Bassett's crown.
Yes,
is like those are all of those crowns she wears are 3D printed. Those are pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's cool. It's all really good, and so those were like, I agree. I don't think she was super interesting, which I literally, like, last night I read the comic where she is introduced, and it's very similar, where it's just like, you don't really get an origin story. It's just kind of like this girl's in her college room building this Iron Man suit, and now she's here doing stuff. Very similar to that, and I think that's kind of like, we didn't get much from her. Like, I don't know. I don't think we really knew anything about her other than
she's from Chicago.
She's from Chicago, and she's building stuff in her relative's garage or something. I don't know. So yeah, that was a weak point. And yeah, the Everett Ross and Val storyline. He's in it, and he's helping the Wakandans find stuff, and his agency finds out through Val, and it's like they were married and now they're divorced, and it's kind of this weird, like, and she's an important character in the comics, and she brings together the Thunderbolts or whatever in the future, but like, we don't need that here. We don't need that here. Get it out of this movie. It's very, very distracting. Took me out.
It is
for sure. But there's a lot of good too.
Everything else, pretty much.
We've talked, everything. Those are my 2 gripes with the movie. There's a Killmonger cameo, which is awesome.
That was cool. I did not expect.
No, I only expected it as they were leading up to it. I was like, oh boy, here it comes. I really enjoyed Shuri's character arc. I think it was it resonated. Well, like, I got where it was going.
It resonated with you.
It resonated with me.
You've wanted to kill someone.
I've wanted to kill somebody. But she, at the beginning of the movie, she's grieving her brother, and she has this conversation with her mom where she is essentially like, well, her mom is trying to, tell her, like, T'Challa isn't gone, like, he's in the ancestral plane, like, he's here with us, like, ancestral stuff, and she has this reaction where she's like, no, like, he is dead. If I thought for sure, if my god, I forget what their god's name is, Bast or something.
Boss.
If God was real, then, like, surely I would know by now. Like, my father died, then my brother dies from a sickness that I could have healed if having the time. Like, if God was real, he would have helped me do this, save my brother. Like, the only thing I can rely on is science, and because I'm the super smart genius teenager, and this is all I know, and this is all I can control, and that's the only thing that exists. There's no spiritual, like, he's not here anymore, he's gone, and whatever. So that's where she kind of starts the movie. Not a very hopeful place. And then her mom dies, and it's even worse. And she's like, okay, that's it. Like, I am furious, and I want revenge. This is the only path. Like, I have to become the Black Panther so that I can avenge my family. And she has a good conversation with M'Baku, where he's basically like, this, like, killing him is not going to make you feel better. In fact, killing him is going to, like, put us in a position where we're in eternal war with this country, and, like, so many people are going to die. Like, what do you think is going to happen? And she's like, no, like, I have to do this. I have to kill him and whatever. And then, so she takes the heart-shaped herb, and she knows the legend. When you take the heart-shaped herb, they bury you, and then you wake up in the ancestral plane, and you get to have a conversation with one of your ancestors, and they're like, go be the Black Panther, woohoo. But she goes in, she doesn't even believe in that. So she takes the heart-shaped herb, and she wakes up in the courtroom or whatever, the throne room, and it pans around, and you're like, oh my gosh, who's it gonna be? Oh my gosh, it's Michael B. Jordan, it's Killmonger. And he's like, he's basically like, yeah, your brother was pretty lame. He didn't get anything done. Are you gonna be like him, or are you gonna be like me and you get shit done? Okay? Are you gonna kill this guy? Or are you gonna be like your brother, your dead brother? Okay? And she wakes up, and she's like, I didn't see anybody there. The ancestral plane is dumb, and it's not real, or whatever. And then at the end of the movie, she has the chance to kill, her sworn enemy, and she feels the presence of her family, which is something that her mom, at the beginning of the movie, when she's talking to her, she's talking about how she felt T'Challa in a very real way, spiritual way. And then at the end of the movie, Shuri experiences that same thing with her mother. And earlier in the movie, she's like, I don't, like, you're talking about all these things, like, my brother wouldn't want me to kill Namor, my mom wouldn't want me to kill Namor, but they're not here anymore. It doesn't matter what they would have wanted. Like, they don't even exist. But when she's about to kill Namor, she feels her mother inspiring her to be better than him, essentially. And that's the resolution of her character arc. And wow, that really got me. I was like, wow, that is great. Very powerful stuff. I felt as if. Beautiful. Yeah. Anyway. There's something else I was going to say. Oh,
Wakanda actually feels threatened.
Yes, and and everything else, like Wakanda, like, they're unstoppable, they're unbeatable, they're like several hundred years surpassed the rest of the world in terms of technology and weaponry and everything else, and they can't even be touched by the rest of the world. So even when Thanos comes, they're like, we got this, it's fine. Bombay and stuff. But then this other civilization, who is essentially Wakanda, the other side of that double-edged coin, as we say.
The other side of that double-edged coin.
You know what I'm saying.
Woo!
Yeah, it's like, oh, they actually have the power to actually hurt us, and they have better weapons than us, and what are we gonna do? We've never really had to face this before, so that it's like that made it interesting.
An
that
external conflict,
because they really are, like, when the Wakandans are out in America doing stuff, like, there's
they're
nothing.
like laughing at us.
Yeah, for sure. The CIA and the a police officer is like, ha, you got nothing on this right now. So I thought that was good too. It was like, oh, stakes. Things mean things. It's not just
Jordan.
Whatever.
Jordan loves a good bit of steak.
I really do. Actually, steak isn't really my thing. I'm not really a steak guy. It's a lot of meat, and it's.
I think the whole idea of like a large plate of meat, just as like your main thing is just a slab of meat. I've never been a huge fan.
It's interesting that we share that. because we are 25%.
Well, we are 25%, 100%
exactly
the same. So.
Yeah, I've had a couple good steaks in my life, but it's never. I get like there's this whole like cultural thing about like, oh, you're gonna get your steak well done. It needs to be bleeding red or whatever. It's not a steak if it's not red or whatever. It's just a lot to work through. It's just like, give me a chicken fried steak instead, okay?
Oh, dude, chicken fried steak? That's crazy. That sounds so good.
It sounds really good right now. I haven't had it in
with
so
that
long.
gravy over top,
mashed potatoes and stuff.
My God.
Yeah, it's a good movie, Wakanda Forever. It's art.
It really is. You got to hit me with your ranking now, okay?
Okay.
I think that's where we're at.
Yeah. You know, we're obviously in a very biased place.
Are we?
So this could change because we just saw
I've never
this.
been less biased in my life.
But we loved Multiverse of Madness. And I think this does go above it for me. I think it is my favorite movie of Phase 4. Favorite thing of Phase 4. I think just the emotional impact of it, and there's about 25 minutes in Multiverse of Madness where I'm like, I don't think this is where you should have gone. I don't think this is the best it could be. Whole John Krasinski thing. I'm like, I don't think this is as good as it could be, and it's a little bit distracting. There's like 20 minutes of that. There's maybe 5 minutes of that in this movie put together all at once. Other than that, people it is it's a long movie. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
True.
And a lot of people complain about that, like this movie's boring, whatever. This is perfect for me. This is what I want. Like, this is the length and the way that it takes its time and takes itself seriously in things. It's just, that's the kind of movie that I like to watch. Like, I never want it to end. Like, it's so long, and I'm like, this feels really long, but it's not a negative thing for me. I'm like, this is cool right now. Okay. Number 1 of Phase 4. Overall MCU, let's see here.
Overall, I personally have it at number 2 in the MCU. Below Multiverse of Madness. I don't have the same issue with the cameo fest. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, if you have any frustrations with that, you can watch them all get brutally murdered.
Yes.
Shortly after.
And I think that my opinion on that came from several rewatches. So after rewatching this movie again, I might have different opinions because that rewatching a movie definitely.
That's one of the reasons why my rank is where it is that I feel like this movie might suffer in rewatches.
Yeah,
I obviously haven't seen it the second time, but I feel like some of the amazing impact might diminish over time. So you go ahead with your total rank.
Just by default, it's above Multiverse of Madness for me, so that makes it number 5 overall, right below Winter Soldier for me.
Wow.
Yep.
It's up there.
Yep.
I have it at number 10.
Wow.
Taking Eternals out of the top 10.
Dang.
Just below the Avengers.
Yeah, I probably need to just... Because it's above Multiverse of Madness in my Phase 4 list, so that makes me think I need to put it above Multiverse of Madness in my overall list, which that makes sense. But it'll... The test of time will change, for sure. My list is constantly changing all the time, so...
Wow.
We'll keep you guys updated.
And just for further clarification, Black Panther is below Civil War for me.
Same.
I have, just to confirm that.
Because Black Panther is much better in Civil War than he is in his own movie.
And Thor Love and Thunder is also above Civil War.
Yikes. That is a tragedy.
I think it's right in the middle.
Thor Love and Thunder is 3rd from the bottom. Right.
Well, I have Iron Man and Iron Man 2 in my bottom 5. So
I know. I really dislike that about you.
Those movies are annoying. They're old.
No.
Iron Man 2 sucks.
You met a couple weeks ago. You were like, I've ascended to film bro nerd status, and you're over here like, Iron Man's old and lame. Like that's the most anti-film nerd thing I've ever heard.
Maybe you're right.
Iron Man is like the only
Jeff Bridges?
MCU movie.
Are you kidding me?
Great stuff. Great stuff. That movie's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece.
Is it even in your top 5?
Yes, it is.
Iron Man?
It's my number 3 of all time MCU movies.
That's crazy.
Right below the 2 Guardians movies.
That's crazy.
It's a masterpiece. It's amazing. But you know me,
Evil
I have
robot Jeff Bridges.
I have this nostalgia towards the first in a series and all things. The first in the series always gets me.
Sorcerer's Stone, my favorite Harry Potter movie.
Well, Harry Potter aside, yeah.
Well, no, because you watched the last one first.
I did. I watched the last 2 first, and then I worked my way through. Order of the Phoenix is the best one, guys.
I had a conversation. Who was I talking to? Oh, I was at the League of Legends Worlds Finals.
You were there?
No.
Oh,
I went to a watch party.
And he was there. He was
randomly. One of the guys there, my friend John.
John
came out and he was like, he literally just randomly was like, Josh, what's your favorite Harry Potter movie? And I was like, Half-Blood Prince. And he said, that's my least favorite one. And I was like, dang, man.
You and everyone else, man.
Yeah. It's one of those things where
I love it too.
I am like, am I the only one that enjoys this thing? Because so many people I talk to hate Half-Blood Prince. They think it's boring. And I'm like, are you watching it? I'm laughing the whole time. The movie's shot in sepia tone. Like, it's beautiful, you know? I love it. It's great.
A very funny movie.
It's like the only happy movie after the first one.
Yeah, I mean,
and
Dumbledore dies, but
sure,
it's whatever.
But like Liquid Luck, it's fun. There's like all this love romance stuff going on. I like it a lot, and it just reminds me of tomatoes, because everyone hates tomatoes.
Yeah,
but I love a good tomato,
me included. I don't like
and
tomatoes.
I don't get it at all.
I do like.
I'm not as far as my dad, where he'll cut up a tomato, put sugar on it, and eat it. But like, or salt. I don't know what he puts on it, but he'll just cut up a tomato and eat it.
That's the most Uncle James thing I've ever heard in my life.
I know, but like, I wouldn't eat a burger without a tomato on it.
Man,
unless it was like
shocking.
a bacon avocado burger, you know?
You put a tomato in a thing, the whole dish tastes like tomatoes.
I do not agree.
It ruins a dish.
Tomatoes taste like water. Like,
no, they taste gross.
How can you hate that?
They taste like squishy, gross, rotten food. Tomatoes taste like how all rotten vegetables taste.
That is an insane take.
Tomatoes at their prime taste rotten. This is my hot take of the year.
But it's not even a hot take. You and everyone else on Earth hates tomatoes.
It's a very cold take.
All my life, I have seen people being like, "Ew, tomatoes." Take off the tomato on their burger. I will eat that.
Yep.
Give me that tomato slice. Or like they'll take the pickles off.
Give me those pickles, man. Give me those pickles.
Pickles make you taller.
That's a pickles. Fact. I don't know about that. It sounds made up. Let me just say that. But I do believe you.
What, like carrots make you see?
Yeah, that didn't work for me. I can't see anything. But yeah, like if you put like salsa is fine, because tomatoes, if you put it something,
those are like pickled tomatoes.
If it's a burger where it's like you got a tomato, you got lettuce, and you got an onion, those things complement each other. Plus the meat. That's a perfect burger right there. But if you're just putting like you go to Taco Bell and they put those gross tomatoes on your freaking taco, and just like you can't escape the taste of a tomato. Even if I take them off, everything tastes like that freaking tomato. I'm just telling you right now.
That's
I can't deal with the tomato.
You're crazy for that one. I'll be honest. I just don't agree.
That's fine. We need to be better at disagreeing, I feel like.
Dude, you know what else everybody hates? Star Wars. Everybody hates Star Wars. And I don't get it.
Including Star Wars fans derogatory.
Dude, seriously, Star Wars fans derogatory. I hate them.
I really hope Andor pulls out the winner.
We'll see.
The winner episode.
I'm nervous.
I'm super nervous too. I was like, we talked about it already. It's a good episode on its own. Episode 11. It's a great episode on its own. As the penultimate episode.
Penultimate. Beautiful.
In a series, like Andor's hardly even in it.
Feels like I feel like we're halfway.
Yeah.
You know, like
And
we're
that's the
about
thing,
like we've had all these short arcs, and now we're like, all right, all these short arcs have finally built into the story we're gonna start telling.
This is it now. Yeah.
Oh, there's only one episode left.
There's one episode. This is how I feel with every Disney Plus show. I'm like, we're halfway through. This is the mid-season finale. That's how I felt about Moon Knight. That's how I felt about WandaVision. That's how I felt about even Falcon and Winter Soldier. Loki. I'm like, this is the mid-season finale. There's more to go. Go ahead.
I started reading on your account.
My what account?
Your Marvel Unlimited account?
Oh, yes. There you go.
That you sent me?
Yes.
I thought to myself, oh, I'm going to read Moon Knight.
There you go.
Because that sounds like an interesting character that I want to learn more about, because they're not going to make a second season of that show.
No, there's no way.
And I read the first issue, and I don't even know. Like it was, it literally felt like I was like I was reading a chapter halfway through the series. Okay. Like he was talking to all these people. Yeah. He already had powers. Like, I mean, Captain America, Spider-Man, Wolverine were there. I was like, what in the world is happening?
That's the thing about, like, it's really hard to know where to start in comics, because that you read number 1 of a particular Moon Knight run. But Moon Knight probably showed up
Moon Knight
many years before. Like it's really hard to decipher. You got to find the very, very first appearance, which may have been years and years ago.
So I was like shell shocked.
Yeah,
I gotta find somewhere I can start with, and it made me really appreciate the consistent and constant origin stories that everyone must go through in all of the Marvel movies. And I was like, you know what? I get it.
Man. Oh, it's Sam.
Admiral Akbar mug?
This is a gift from my friend Justin. Justin, shout out if you're watching.
That's so sick.
My Admiral Akbar mug. That's huge.
Awesome.
It's 20 ounces. It's ginormous.
20 ounces?
20 whole ounces of liquid.
That's crazy.
Drink out of the back of Akbar's head. You're drinking his brain fluid right now.
Oh.
The first appearance of Moon Knight was in a comic called Werewolf by Night, number 32, that came out in August 1975. I believe you read a run that was started in 2016, so I think you're a little bit late.
Like, yeah, they're like talking like Mark Spector.
Yeah.
We need you to be the Avenger on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is going on?
It's rough, man. It's really hard to know where to start. I'm
going to need you to send me a YouTube video or something of where to start, because I don't know.
In Moon Knight specifically?
Anywhere, I guess.
Yeah. I'll send you some recommendations for sure. I'm reading through the.
Also, I want to read about some characters that aren't in the MCU.
Yeah.
I can just be like, oh, these are interesting.
I meant to do that about. You know what we should do together? We should read some Kang storylines, so that when those movies come out, we can be like, "This sucks."
We knew it.
Yeah,
we saw it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm reading through. I'm reading. In the comics, there's a Civil War, and then there's a Civil War 2. I read Civil War, and now I'm reading Civil War 2. I'm reading the Prelude comics. The Superior Iron Man, I believe, is where I am. Some Iron Man stories, which are really good stuff, leading up to the second Civil War of all time. So that's really good. If you're into reading comics, get Marvel Unlimited and read some comics.
And hey, if you like reading comic books, maybe try reading them backwards. It's called manga. It's pretty dope.
No way.
And yeah.
That can't be real.
I'm reading 4 romance mangas right now.
Wow.
Yep, I'm hooked.
Look at this guy.
Mm-hmm. You want me to tell you the names of these series?
So romantic. Yeah, I would love to hear them.
We got Rent a Girlfriend.
Okay.
Great story. Great story.
Girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. The main character's birthday is my birthday. Shout out.
Oh.
We have Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. Great one.
That sounds good.
We have Call of the Night.
Okay.
Which is about vampires, which is fun.
Oh. Not about sex. It sounds like it's about sex.
There's no vampires. I mean, there's a sex. There hasn't been any sex.
There's no vampires.
There's no vampires in this one. It's
In this book that's referring to vampires, there's no vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And then My Dress Up Darling.
Oh, wow.
That one's not as good as the other ones.
This is making me uncomfortable, to be totally honest. I'm just kidding.
And so I would say don't read those.
Oh.
They're not for everybody. I'm deep in the hole, all right, guys?
Oh my
So I can
goodness.
read these and they're okay.
Okay.
If you want to read something normal, you can read like Naruto or something,
Ugh.
you know, or Dragon
Naruto.
Ball.
Yeah.
But
Dragon Ball's
or
pretty
like if you want to
fun.
go straight down the hole, you can read Berserk. That's a gross story.
Man,
The first 2 arcs,
Chainsaw Man.
perfect.
That's something I know.
I
Chainsaw Face.
I read the first couple chapters and I was like, this is boring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, I'm not
Rip
going to say
Corey.
that. Yeah, I know. He really, really liked it. It just, as far as I got, I didn't really feel like there was a reason for caring about any of the characters. So maybe I just didn't get far enough. Who knows? I'm watching the anime right now because it's easier to digest. And it's okay.
Man. Are we good at this anymore? Is this still good? Are we still
What do you mean?
podcasters?
I
Was
ranted
this a
about
good episode,
tomatoes. That
guys?
was hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I
I don't know why you think at the end of every episode you're like, was this even good? Did I even enjoy this?
I'm so
We
proud of
are amazing.
I
And-
enjoyed it.
And you need to calm down about
I
it,
do.
all right?
I'm
Everyone
self-conscious.
loves this.
Yeah.
It's okay
Everybody
to be
listens.
self-conscious. I understand that, and I
Yeah.
validate your feelings. But you're stupid, and this podcast is awesome.
Shut the heck up. Yeah, this has been really fun for us for sure. I'm having a great time. I get self-conscious.
Okay.
I'm like, are people enjoying this? Am I even making sense? What are we doing with our lives? That's where my mind is at. I need to work through that. That's a me problem. That's a personal problem. I'm gonna work through that. I'm in therapy. It's fine. I'll work on it. Okay, it's fine.
Okay.
Thank you all for listening to Quarter Twins. This has been Jordan and Joshua talking about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and tomatoes and onions and steak and any number of things we talked about here at Quarter Twins. Next week we'll be back talking about something. I don't know what it is.
Something. What is
You'll
it?
find out with us.
Do we have a plan?
It's something. It's probably like, Strange World is coming out. We can talk about that, or we can talk about that anime you want us to watch.
Oh, which one?
Those are two options. Silent Voice, I think, is what it is on the list.
I don't even know where we are.
I
Yeah,
don't even
Silent Voice. Okay, we'll see.
Sounds good.
Or
maybe we'll
I
do
don't know
both.
if I'll be able. I don't know if I'll be able to see Strange World. It's Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to record an episode because it's Thanksgiving week. So
That's true.
maybe
see.
we'll take another
We'll
week
see
off.
what we can do. Yeah. Also, apparently, we have to watch a ton of X-Men movies in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, jeez. Yep. Sounds good.
We
I
might
got
have
a
to
bunch
do that
watch.
independently.
I think I've only seen 2 of them. So.
That's crazy,
And one of them is
I
the
watched
best
them all.
one. Which one? You'll never know.
dude. I do know. It's, but
It's
we'll
on
save
our
it, I
top
guess.
10 movies of all time list. For
Yeah.
sure. So, this is it.
Take us out. You're the outro.
I know. I tried to outro. And,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And then I got distracted again. Thank you all for listening as always. This has been Quarter Twins. You can find us at Spotify or YouTube or Instagram or Apple Podcasts and TikTok and all the things. We're there. If you're there, we're there. Twitter, maybe, if
Whoa.
it survives the night. Okay. Thank you all for listening again. See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Goodbye.